So I want to go more in depth about how I changed my mindset pretty much from start to finish. And I want to mention some of my routines in this video as kind of like a way to, I don't know, I guess maybe influence you guys or maybe inspire you guys and, show you all how I got started because this definitely was a gradual shift. However, I feel like honestly, like when it comes to anything, like mindset included, self-concept included, it's like practice makes perfect, right? This does not have to overly consume your life. I do believe in implementing practices and techniques to the point to where they become natural. You don't want to ever go into anything feeling like you're forcing it or like seeking outside of yourself for the fulfillment, because you'll see as you gradually do all of this work all around, it will all connect. And then of course, because we're all different, you will find what works for you and what makes you feel better in your day to day. And then before you know it, it just becomes a part of your reality and it's your everyday life. And you just will feel so much more at peace, right? So I know I told you all when I started this channel that one of the things that I stumbled across was Dylan James's sleep tapes, like his sleep meditations, the whole 8-hour self-concept meditations. I love those. I love those so much. They were so soothing. It was just so nice. It felt just kind of like so comforting. Dylan uses a lot of very positive self-concept affirmations, like you are stable, you are confident, you are, an amazing person and things like of that nature. And to be honest, like, traumatized girly here, if you're a person who's not used to hearing that in your day-to-day life, and let's say you might have also struggled with like a negative self-talk, like a negative inner, conversation or whatever, it's very comforting to hear those words at first, especially if you're not a person that's like used to speaking very kindly to yourself internally, or even, seeing it reflect in your reality, right? Which we all know by this time, like it goes, hand in hand, right? But if you're unaware, I honestly, patience and understanding here, I totally get it. So I do love his sleep tapes. I can link some of his playlists because he has a whole playlist of like sleep meditations, and his sleep meditations go for some of everything. So it's self-concept based, but it's like for everything. Like he even has like a wifey mindset one. He has one for like fertility. Girl, he has one for money. Money mindset is great. Oh yes, like money is always flowing to me effortlessly. Like those are like amazing to start on your self-concept with money. In fact, I more so when I first got started, I actually was using the money mindset one first more heavily, because in my whole entire mindset, self-concept, and self-development journey, I think I mentioned this before, but I can go ahead and reiterate that I healed my self-concept with money first, even though like I had my hiccups or whatever, but I started healing that first, right? Like before I was concerned about anything else, like, or even more than I was concerned about sleep. It was just adjusting my mindset after I had already moved back home when I was living a completely different lifestyle, and I had to just do like a bit of an adjustment there. But then it's like my whole like energy and mindset around money changed and shifted, right? And I'm very grateful for that. And I'm very grateful that my money mindset and my just like how I handle money and now how I like invest and everything like that. I'm so happy that happened. That got nipped in the bud like right shortly after I was pregnant, because I didn't want to be quote unquote bad with money. I didn't want to have a poor money mindset bringing a child into the world. I definitely wanted to be able to care for baby and I regardless of anything. And like just like with the way life has really turned around for the better, I am so blessed and I'm so grateful for that. So definitely money mindset is huge, and I noticed the changes in my personal life with money before I noticed any other changes. And of course, you guys know I also worked through my resistance with money, but of course I had the least amount of resistance to money, so that was very easy to heal. It was just like the shift of mindset when I was in a different environment after I moved and everything, which that didn't take too long. So yeah, the sleep meditations are huge. Another thing I started doing was journaling. So journaling is huge. You want to journal every single day, even if you don't have much to say, or maybe you don't have many, feelings about anything. You want to journal, I say honestly, daily. Journal at least once daily, regardless of how you're feeling. And what you'll find when you journal, you will find, what gets you the most excited, what gets you the most upset. Journaling can help you narrow down where your resistance lies internally. Like, let's say you get super triggered, right? And then you go spiral about it in your journal. Okay, well, over time, when you reflect and look back on your journal, even if you don't write out the limiting belief in itself, right? Like, let's say, like, you get into an argument with your partner and you make a mistake, or the bad habit of always assuming the worst of them, and maybe like you struggle with like distrust and stuff, so it's all connected, right? So let's say you get into a fight or an argument with your partner and you spiral in your journal like, I can't stand when he does this, I always knew he would do this, he's probably going to do this. Give yourself a few days as you keep journaling and trying to work on yourself, revisit that, and then see how often you're writing shit like that, because that is a pattern, that is a thought pattern, and it has internal dialogue, and those are assumptions that are manifesting. And so you want to go into that, analyze it, nip it in the bud, because what you're doing is you're building up that damn resistance around whatever those limiting beliefs are, whether it's like you can't trust your partner, or you don't feel validated in love, or you never felt loved. It's going to reveal some kind of bullshit there. It will. It will. And let's say you start journaling from a place of, let's just say you're feeling really unhappy in your life. And so when you start journaling, and let's say you're just triggered about your whole life, right? Same thing. Journal every single day, and it's going to reveal the patterns in your life. It's going to reveal where your focus is going. It's going to reveal what that inner dialogue is. And it's also going to kind of expose what's been negatively manifesting in your life, right? Another thing that you can do, since you journal or whatever, is regardless of how you're feeling, regardless of what your emotions are, start making a gratitude list and start going over your gratitude list every single day. I swear this changes lives. This has changed my life for the best. Like, this has changed my life for the ultimate betterment. I promise you, I don't care how bad your outside circumstances look, feel, all of this internal, whatever. I don't care how mean you are to yourself internally. You could literally be your own worst enemy. I don't care how mean you are to yourself. Honey, you make a gratitude list, you're going to start being real kind to yourself real quick, because you will be grateful for simply existing. Whereas you probably used to have an emotion of feeling like, life was too overbearing to even exist. I promise you, make a gratitude list and revisit it daily. Or you can do something where you write in your journal, and every morning you write what you're grateful for. Like, you don't even have to start your morning off with like meditations or whatever. You can just start off your mornings with just like being grateful. Honey, I do not care if all you have to be grateful for is running water, some food on the table, lights on. Honey, like, I don't care if you have to be grateful for having a bed at night, or maybe having blankets, or being able to shower. If all you have are your basic needs, do trust and believe and understand that you are still more abundant and more wealthy than a lot of different areas in our world today, especially with all the issues that face the world today. So you need to be grateful, and you need to consider yourself blessed and abundant just for being and being able to get your day-to-day needs. And of course, if you are lacking, then instead of focusing on the lack and the lack thereof and getting frustrated and allowing your focus to go to where you're lacking and what you don't have, because that's going to get you more frustrated, and like, focus goes, energy flows, and so you don't want it to grow into like a negative manifestation of more bullshit you don't want, because you're so focused on the lack. I promise you, you will find something in your life to be grateful for. I promise you. If you have nothing more than just the clothes on your back, okay? I am so serious. Or if you drink water that day, clean water, right? That day. gas in your car. Okay, enough gas. Your car might have, had just barely hit E by the time you got home, but you know that you can refill up your gas. I don't know, whenever your payday is, or whatever your situation is. Just start to see the good in things, because what's going to happen, you're going to start shifting your mindset and you're going to start shifting your perspective. So instead of looking at all of the things that piss you off and make you upset, you'll start shifting your focus and seeing more of what's working for you, what to be grateful for. And guess what? Because you've shifted your focus, then you're going to attract more things to be grateful for in. And it will be a gradual change to where you barely notice it, because like I said, it's going to feel like your everyday life. So make a gratitude list and honestly journal as often as you can, to where it feels normal and like a part of your everyday. And then next thing you know, you'll just literally watch yourself transform, and you'll probably expose a lot about your mindset, right? So that's really how I got started. And then obviously, like, I've been a member on Dylan's channel, like off and on, for like the past few years. Like I would obviously like watch his content. I am a person to where I understand when some of these manifestation channels and coaches and things, I understand what they mean when they say, well, you don't want to just consume content out all day and not embody any application. I get it, because they want you to get up off your phone and go live your life and practice, like, what you've learned, right? As you work on your mindset. But I'm going to be very honest. As I've worked on my mindset, and I watch Dylan James, I watch Manifesting Bestie, I watch this guy. He's relatively new. The Power of I Am. I think he's pretty awesome. I watch some of everybody. I listen to Joe Dispenza. I listen to who's that Meg lady. She made the Let Them theory. I even talked to you guys about the Let Them theory on my main channel. Pretty much I'm everywhere, right? And what I have found in my personal journey is that I am at a point now where I just like manifestation content and mindset content and self-concept stuff just because. I enjoy it literally just because I've noticed, and I guess this is another part of like my practice, right? There is so much bullshit out there, y'all, on the TikTok. When you start really working on your own self-concept and your own limiting beliefs, you will realize there are limiting beliefs every fucking where, especially on the TikTok, especially on like scrolling media. And it's like, you do want to be careful what you consume. That's just where I'm at now. I thank God that I have a baby, because outside of listening to my mindset stuff, I get to watch Disney Plus and Paramount Plus all day with the baby. So I just watch, baby cartoons and movies, that's an amazing place today. That's an amazing place to be all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I will take that shit any day. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, like, I have found that I actually get more enjoyment from honestly limiting the amount of bullshit that I consume, if any at all. Like I told you guys, like I still watch like, Obese to Beast from time to time, but not nearly as often. Like I used to watch him every day. I used to consume like bullshit drama, like reaction style type content every day. And even though, okay, let's get into it. Even though I love her to death and her channels still have amazing points, and I don't think I'll unsub, but I love Shira so much. But now that I've worked on my mindset, I've picked up even limiting beliefs that she spews. And she knows better too, because she knows about manifestation and she knows about mindset. But I get what she's doing. She is catering to a certain audience that has certain beliefs around men already in dating. But it's like, I don't know, like I have noticed even some of the limiting beliefs that she pushes. So it's like, if I notice that about your content, I dip out. I know I told you guys I used to watch Cluster B Milkshake all the time. I don't watch her as often now. I still like her channel. At the end of the day, at the time, it did help me and everything like that. But like, I am so far removed from that mindset. And I'm gonna be very honest, I don't even know if I agree anymore with labeling people as narcissists. I mean, I get it, she's diagnosed, so like she has a right to like, say that on her platform. But I don't know if I even agree with labeling people as narcissists and with narcissism or whatever, because it's become way too prevalent now to where like the word has really lost its meaning. And at the end of the day, like, we're all still human, we all share consciousness. And at the end of the day, like, I just, like, with mindset and with what you attract and like all these things that I understand now and I even see in myself, I just don't agree with some of the things that I used to watch, and I just honestly stay away from it. So I like Cluster B. I love Sarah's content. I think she's awesome. I also think she's very pretty. So sometimes I just watch and say, hey girl, looking good, and then I pop out or whatever. Her content can still be helpful to others, but as far as me really deeply relating to it, I don't as much anymore. You know, I enjoy watching mindset content. I love watching self-concept content. I love watching manifestation content. I'm one of those people to where I love hearing success stories. So like, I love it when coaches will like share, like Dylan is huge about that. Like Dylan will like blow his community tab up with like success stories, or like even his Instagram stories. He will like blow his like stories up with like so many successes. And I love it so much. Manifesting Bestie does the same. She's always sharing successes like all over her Instagram, and I love her podcast, Manifesting Bestie podcast. And I really have enjoyed catching like, some of her archived lives from TikTok on YouTube, because I didn't follow her on TikTok originally. In fact, when I found her, it was a recommended podcast on my Spotify, because I don't listen to many. And so it was like, oh, well, didn't I? And also, I think it recommended her because I listened to Dylan James. So it was like, oh, because he started a mini podcast years ago. So like, it was like, oh, because you listen to Dylan James, you might like Manifesting Bestie. And all I see is like this fierce ass, like badass bitch. And I'm just like, well, of course I'm gonna like see what she's talking about, because I love the girls. Okay, all it takes is for me a bad bitch, and that's pretty much all you gotta do to get my attention and my engagement, girl. God, just be a bad bitch, you got my attention, all right? So I love the girlies, so like I be here for it. But like, I find that I just enjoy that kind of content. And I told you all, like Clear Value Tax, because he talks about money news and like our economy and stuff. And he even talks about investing news and just like, what's happening in regards to investments in stocks, and even things with like, stimulus checks or whatever, or even just like different regulations around money and all this stuff like that. Like, I love it. And I've been trying to get really good with like my money mindset, because I do invest for my baby. I have like a whole investment account and all that. And I taught myself how to invest. And I'm proud of myself for doing that. And so like, I'm just like, girl, I'm like living on like my own planet at this point. And so I keep ahead of the money news, because I'll be damned if me and baby ain't straight. Do you feel me? So, yeah, I love that. Who else do I watch? I'm always being recommended different mindset and manifestation channels. So even if they're like smaller creators, I'll watch. Even on TikTok, I love it too now, because like I have really trained my TikTok algorithm. So TikTok, a bunch of different like manifestation creators and stuff like that. And you know what? I even like on TikTok when I see a smaller creator on there, and it could be just a girl out here trying to like live her best life, and like, well, today I'm gonna try, and then because some people document their journeys like every day on TikTok, and girl, she could have 50 followers, and I might follow her just because like I'm with that vibe. Okay, like, yes, like I'm here for the self-improvement, I'm here for that. And to be honest, it's like another thing where what you focus your mind on, you attract more of. Like, honestly, our world really is like an algorithm, okay? The quantum field, which I want to talk about quantum physics, but I'm going to try to figure out a way to break it down that's still fun. It doesn't make us feel like we're in school melting our brains, but for real, like I've been like studying. And so it's like, I found that I feel more fulfilled just in my everyday, from the type of content I consume, journaling, doing mindset work, listening to different podcasts. It keeps you kind of upbeat all day. And then of course, like the success stories, or people who are just vlogging their daily lives, and they're just trying to try their best and make the most of it, or recognizing that they want change. And so trying to manifest changes and things like that. I love that. You guys know I love watching content about babies because I'm always on the TikTok looking at stuff for babies. As a mommy, like I really do miss the damn. I didn't even realize that they don't sell the the toy catalogs anymore, right? Because we don't have Toys R Us anymore. I hate it because it's like now it's like if I want to know what's trending and what's like popular with the kids, I have to go on TikTok, because I feel so damn out of date. So it's like I love surrounding myself with like, baby content and like mommy content and seeing like what the mommies are doing, and especially now that baby's eating like more solid food, so like meal ideas, meal preps, like family dinner ideas, like stuff like that. That's just like fun, like uplifting. Like honestly, some people do call this mental dieting, but I honestly feel like it's just a natural part of cultivating a healthy mindset and lifestyle. Like you're going to start gravitating towards better content that better suits you. So no, you don't want to sit and be, digesting content and being like a sponge all day and not really taking much action in your own personal life. But to be honest, like if you find watching more uplifting content, or even me, because like I've completely shifted, right? So like if you like watching me or others or whatever, and like you're still, trying to implement your own embodiment in your own life and you're trying your best, you're figuring this stuff out, I'm not gonna hate on you because I get it. Like, girl, stay in your bubble. If it makes you feel good, period. Like, you ain't hurting nobody trying to digest some positive content, because I'll tell you one thing, like bullshit drama content is every goddamn where, and it's overly accessible, and it can really heavily saturate like news feeds, timeline, and all of this. So like even to shift your perspective and your mindset and your focus away from that kind of content, I congratulate you. I really do, because I used to be a part of a whole fucking toxic ass community. Okay, bitch, like the awareness was way entirely too real. Like, I feel like that's why I say if I can do it, you can do it. Imagine what my news feeds and timelines used to look like, right? And I wasn't even an observer. Like I was an active, participant in said community, right? So it's like, oh dude, the level of work I had to do on not only like my timeline, but just like my awareness. For me at that time, it did feel like more of a forced effort, because remember, I used to have those mannerisms and those behavior characteristics of checking all the time, always checking, always checking, always checking. So like if you do that, you're also training your algorithm to show you more bullshit. So even if you get out of a pattern of checking and searching for shit all the time, you go a few days and you're going to see something without you even looking for it. So you have to like literally retrain. And mind you, I didn't even make a new account. But when it comes to like my main channel, right? Like obviously this is a new account, but you know what I mean? Like I did this work before obviously starting this new channel. Right. So like it was a bitch. I'm not gonna lie. It was a bitch to the point to where like I would be happier when I wouldn't even log into YouTube. Like you guys know, especially those of you who like leave comments and stuff. And so now it's like, even though I film and I don't check YouTube as much anymore, it's like, and I do check to engage with you guys, but now I do it more on my own terms. Like now everything flows more on my terms, and I worked hard for that shit. Okay, I worked hard for my goddamn peace of mind, and if I can do it, you guys can literally do it. So no, I'm not gonna hate on you for trying to retrain your algorithm and mental diet and do some consume some better content for your own peace of mind, mindset, and well-being, because it's worth it. It literally is worth it. You will have so much more peace. And isn't it better to watch like more inspiring topics and creators anyway? Like for me, I love it when I find like, meal prep ideas. I love it when I find like little stuff for my baby, and then I'll come on and I'll talk to you about like little products that I end up loving for my baby, because period. It just makes life flow so much more easier, and like it does. It adds like, a dash of happiness. You know what I'm saying? To like my day to day. So for sure, I did that as well, to help cultivate my mindset. Outside of watching the type of content that I consume and engage in, and journaling and all of that, I told you all that I also incorporated EFT tapping. Now, this I totally got from Flora because, girl, when she was first talking about EFT tapping on her podcast, I like Googled it. I had never even heard of it before, right? So I had Googled it, and to me, it just looked crazy. It did, like, girl. And I was just like, oh, girl. Well, it's like, when I first saw it, I swear, I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm that bad off. But to be honest, like, then Flora started posting on her Instagram, like the EFT tapping, and I'm just like, you know what, she is gorgeous. And like, that's why I say I love me a bad bitch. Like, a bad bitch can talk to me and like honestly will motivate me to do anything. Like, I love bad bitch energy, right? So it's just like, I feed off that, you know, as like a fellow bad bitch. So it's like, all right, girl, what we doing today, girl? So she be like doing her tapping. I'm like, all right, let me try it. It works. It works wonders. It works. I don't know how it works, but it works for panic attacks. It works for anxiety. It really does. It works if you feel yourself starting to feel down, like you want to get like into a depression. I don't know how it works, girl. So not only do I EFT tap, but like if I feel myself getting some resistance built up, what I like to do is I love making myself a nice calm cup of chamomile tea. Chamomile tea works wonders for the nervous system. I can share some screenshots or whatever because it's like literally like proven that chamomile tea will help with the nervous system. And I always knew about this ever since I was diagnosed with panic attacks. I had a very dear family member who gave me the advice about using chamomile tea for anxiety and panic, so I've always incorporated it, right? But it works absolute wonders. And you know what's crazy? Since shifting my mindset, since changing my life, you guys know I used to take anxiety medication. I don't take it anymore. I don't need it anymore. Which I'm just blessed, to be honest. Like, you know, I'm blessed that I stayed true to myself to not only notice these positive changes, but to not really need anything outside of me to soothe me and to truly now have all the tools within. Like, it's an amazing place to be. So like EFT tapping, I know it might sound and look crazy, but I swear it's worth it. It works. I can't even explain how it necessarily works. Like, I can obviously show screenshots of, you know, telling how it works, but for me, it's so interesting. It's so intriguing. Chamomile tea, and then of course doing breath work and breathing exercises along with brief meditations, especially if I'm feeling some resistance build up and I'm starting to kind of feel my mood want to shift or whatever. I quickly get myself out of that. I'll EFT tap. I'll have some chamomile tea. If I'm out driving and I feel my mood trying to shift, honey girl, I will pull over to the Starbucks and get me a chamomile tea real quick. You already know. Well, treat yourself. All right. I'm gonna get me a little chamomile and just sit, like, you know, let it sit, whatever, and then just like sip or whatever. Like, it's so soothing. And then of course doing like breath work and breathing exercises, which there are so many different kinds of like breathing exercises and like breath work exercises like on YouTube that you can like literally Google. And so it's like you look those up and you just sit and breathe with them. Same thing with like short meditations, like those are all over the place as well. And another thing that I found is, you know, as I journaled and as I really started getting down to the nitty gritty of who I am and what I want out of life just fully, and starting to like consciously manifest my life and my desires, honestly, it helped me cultivate my own personal affirmations. So like with EFT tapping, I will literally sit there and do, I am the goddess of my life. There is nothing outside of me. Nothing bad ever happens to me. That's another one of my affirmations, because period. um, I am the goddess of my life. I am the love of my life. Everything is always working in my favor. All of my desires flow to me effortlessly. Money is always flowing to me effortlessly. All of my desires are here. Like literally, like I EFT tap. Like if you guys want me to do a session with like some of my affirmations, like I'm down. It can help you. Y'all know I really don't care about looking crazy on camera because I've looked worse. So EFT tapping. I think we got this one in the bag, girl. Like, I think we got it in the bag. We have it in the bag. But I'm just being very honest. But to have gotten to this place of having my own routines is amazing. I love it because I told you all, I finally have gotten to the place of being able to wake up and say my own affirmations and do my own breath work. So like, you know, waking up, and sometimes I might have, you know, a cup of tea, or honestly just a nice cup of water will do it too. Wake up, do deep breaths. I'm like, I am the goddess of my life. Today is going to be an amazing day. I am so blessed and I am so grateful to live a life full of love, peace, and abundance. And I just go into it and I will say it out loud. So like, if you guys want me to make some basic exercises, just maybe you could sit with me and do it, or just to kind of show you more of like how I embody it. I'm so down, to be honest. So from journaling to participating and watching like mindset content, to EFT tapping, to affirmations, to doing breathwork exercises, to the chamomile tea. Honestly, the mental dieting honestly is so huge. And to just start to incorporate to where it's more personalized and honestly just works more in flow with me is awesome, dude. Like I love it all so much. And I wouldn't have it any other way. And I am very blessed to be in this space. And so, yeah, I am so down. I hope that this video helped you guys. I'm going to put chapters in it, like how I did the one on resistance. Also, the next video on resistance is coming very, very soon. And so I'm going to be making that real soon. And that's going to be a whole series because resistance is a bitch. And resistance needs to get the fuck out of everybody's life, okay? All right, we ain't blocking no more flow around here, all right? Once I really broke through my resistance, it motivated me to tell everybody. But I'm like, people need to know about this, like more in depth. Like every coach and every person talks about it in their own way, but like I'm willing to break it down because I want to get it the fuck out. So stay tuned for that, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Bye.